Hello, welcome back to the fish locker out on the rocks. I haven't been out shore fishing for quite a while. To be honest, I was a little bit rusty. I've got myself to a mark. We're about 2 hours after low water, so we're fishing the flood. And the flood, the top of the flood should coincide with daylight. So we've got about 3 hours of flood. We're going to fish like 3 hours up, maybe a couple of hours over. The rigs that I've got out, you can see the rods behind us. If you've watched any of my videos before, I always like to get baits in the water first, then I'll set the camera up and everything. I was fishing my pulley dropper rig on the left hand side rod, and I'm fishing a 3-hook flapper rig, scratching rig on the right hand side rod. I haven't even had a chance to set the camera up and the pulley dropper rig as a bite. That's the beauty of these pulley droppers, is detachable hook lengths. And this little fella has managed to shed the hook, get himself all snarled up in it. It was, look, it was just, I think these are 1/0 stingers, and just a little bit of mackerel on there. This is I think this is 15 pound fluoro, 15 pound high seas fluoro. I'm using fluoro for hook length just to try it out really. I usually just use mono. And straight away it's picked me up the first fish of the night. I hope this isn't going to be the only fish of the night, probably jinxed myself now, but a little dogfish. So saved the blank before we even got the camera out. Let's get this guy back and we'll see if we can get something else. This is the beauty of this. I've already made up a little hook length. Each rig that I use has got interchangeable hook lengths. So if you get a fish like this, all you do is you take one off, put another one straight on, and you cast straight out again. And you can see all I've done is I've just got a little slither of mackerel, and I've just whipped it up the hooks. See what we can find. Alright. Just cast that pulley dropper rig out, turn round, and my 3-hook scratching rig's going mental. And you can see there, look, it's picked up a little whip conger. Now it's a good job that I saw the bite when I did, because these are notorious for tiny rigs up in knots. There, look. Perfectly formed little conger. See about getting the tweezers on him, getting him hooked, get him back. You can see how much he's already tangled this up. They're a nightmare. Wouldn't mind carrying one that's about £10, but I hope there's not going to be loads of these tonight. There it is there, look. Perfection in miniature. Getting back before he gets hold of my finger. Yeah, another little whip eel. This one though is a bit darker, I think. Just a plague. Give like a real aggressive rattling bite like that. I've just brought in the pulley dropper rig as well, and it was tied in knots, so I know that's had one of these on as well. I'm reluctant to get my fingers too close to its mouth to try and get the hook out. No, this one's just gonna have to snip this one off. I hope there's not going to be. I hope that's not what all tonight's going to be. Just loads and loads of little tiny eels. But I will see. I don't know if you can see, the rod on the left has got a rolling lead, so it's bumping along, hoping it's going to find like a turbot or a ray or something. And the one on the right has got a grip lead with my up and over rig. You see it's getting a good bite on it now. Now unfortunately I think that's a dogfish. As I said, another cheeky dogfish. See there, it's taken on mackerel fillet. Grab another pre-baited one. Get this fired out and then unhook that dogfish. There we go, all loaded up and ready to go on my up and over rig. Yeah, well, he's unhooked himself. So far, 4 eels, 4 dogfish. And nothing over about 2.5 pound. But fish is a fish. Sun's just starting to come up now, and we're actually getting some decent bites. The baits I've been using has just been I used a little bit of ragworm to start with. I've been using lawns and I've been using mackerel. Now one of the frames, one of the heads and a bit of guts. You might see this rod here. Just chucked it out down near my feet on a simple running ledger, like an 8-0 hook. Just missed a cracking bite on it. I think it must have been a conger because it just went. By the time I managed to get rod up, I mean I've taken the drag right off, so it's like that. By the time I managed to take the drag up and go into it, I'd lost it. But hopefully, we'll be able to show you something other than a little conger eel and a dogfish. Hoping for a turbot or a ray. You live in hope, don't you? Take anything. Oh yeah, we had a nice visit from our local Sammy the Seal. Just heard like a load of snoring and grunting. He was down in front of me for a couple of minutes until I persuaded him to move on. Hopefully he doesn't come back either. When daylight comes on, I'll show you the rigs that I'm using. 2 rods, 2 rigs, 2 dogfish. The dogfish there picked up on a pulley dropper using sand eel, up and over, mackerel. Just can't get away from them, just everywhere, literally. As soon as a bait goes out, like tap, 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 tap. Just have to hope that I can fish through them. We'll keep trying. Let's go and get them back. It's actually been a really busy night. I've not had any time really to just sit and watch, because pretty much constantly dogfish. And because I'm only fishing with a light fluoro hook length, every time it's got to be changed. So by the time I baited up and cast it out, unhooked, returned the fish, made a new hook length, baited it up, there's another one on. You can see now I've got another one pecking at it. Now it's coming to daylight, what I might do is I might put a little scratching rod out with a floater. I've got a couple of ragworms I might try for a wrasse. I was hoping that the fish would have come already. There's still a chance of getting a decent fish. Put a float out with a little bit of silver mackerel belly. Might catch some fresh mackerel. Might catch a garfish. You never know, you don't even need to be specifically targeting a certain species, you just leave your options open. We're almost at the top of the flood, which is why, like I said, I thought the fish would have come already. Just seems to be like they either aren't there, or the dogfish are getting there too. They're getting there too quick for them. A nice big ray-sized bait. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on that, but can you see where the mist's come down? come down off the land and sitting on the sea. It's a lovely morning. Give it a couple more hours and see how we go. I got that float rod rigged up and then I'll talk you through some of the rigs that I'm using. Left hand side rod. You keep an eye on it for me. Something's picked up one of those baits there. I back the drags right off and I can keep hearing it clicking every now and again. I think what's happened is a spider crab's picked it up. Now I'm fishing for wrasse and I've just got a size 1 Cox and Roll chinook and about 1.5 foot length and just a sliding float. And I'm just fishing down near my feet now. I've just lost 2 little ones. But there's usually like a resident ballan wrasse around. That's what I'm trying to find. I'll mess around with this for a little bit more and I'll change those baits over. Well, the sliding float rig has worked with a lovely coloured ballan wrasse. Oh, I tell you what. Not the biggest, it was a good looking one. Just stuck a spike right inside of my hand. All of these on its dorsal fin, all of these here have got a hard spike in them. Yeah, and they know how to use them. Let's get this guy put back. And there is another. To be honest, he was starting to take the mick out of me. Just robbing me ragworms. They do fight really well. There up, taking on a size 1 chinook. It's good fun float fishing, just standing watching a float. Kind of like back to basics fishing, isn't it? Quite a lot of lice on this one. Let's go and get this boy back. I've cycled these big baits out. Funnily enough, actually, all the bites have died off. As soon as we've got like half an hour after daybreak, all the bites have died off. It's just crabs that are eating them now. So I've got a little scratching rig and I'm using up the last of my bait. We'll fish it out for probably 3/4 of an hour and then we will go home. Just putting the last of the baits out now, showing me rigs. This pulley dropper rig, I call it the pulley dropper rig, you might know it's something else. Now, I've got a video that I'll put a link into here that shows you how to make it. Basically, you have a hook length that clips into one of these bent clips like that, and all that does is it hooks into this swivel here like that and then clips down to your bait. Now I like to use a rolling lead with this rig so it covers more ground. Now you see how it's together, and it just slides up over a pulley bead like that and then clips down to your lead on this side. I'm just using these ragworms up now. I was fishing bits of sandale and bits of mackerel on it. But the beauty of this rig is it clips a worm bait down, clips a small, like, delicate bait down so you can get it to distance, and then when it hits the bottom, when it hits the water, this piece releases, so you end up with a bait below the weight. Like that. That's why I like this rig. To load it up, all you do is put the swivel on like that. There you go. Yeah, that was it was a busy night's fishing, but it wasn't the best night's fishing. We had probably half a dozen little bootlace eels that were about that big. God, I don't know how many dogfish. 8. But 4 wrasse. Missed a few real good bites. Missed a massive bite on the on that mackerel frame that was just down here. Don't know what that was. I'm assuming it was a big eel. I say a big eel, bigger than the ones I was catching. We'll fish these last baits out and then we'll head up home. Don't know if you can see the bite that I've just started getting on this rod here. It's like and then it kind of pull down and bump, and I think it's spider crabs. I think it's they're playing with it and then walking around with it, because it's been happening quite a lot and the baits are just getting ripped to pieces. Usually tell when it's spider crabs as well, because when you bring it in there's got no hooks left. Spider crabs are the only ones I know that will snip the snood off. Still having fun on the ballon wrasse. There's another one completely different. None of these have been massive by ballon wrasse standards, but they're a welcome fish, and I tell you what, they do scrap still. There you go. That was all it was. Just a little bit of ragworm on a sliding float. Let's get this guy back and see if we can't get one with the last couple of worms. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but I knew there was going to be wrasse here, because if you can see at the distance, probably like 50 yards out, it's quite pale blue because it's on sand. And whereas if you look close in, it looks real dark. That's not shadow, that's because it's kelp. So on that borderline there, where the sand meets the kelp, you'll be quite safe to float fish. So that's all I did. Just literally been getting a couple of ragworms like this. Just threading a ragworm up the hook, and I'm using a sliding float. Now it is quite difficult because I've set the float so deep, the float bobs under the water quite a bit. And you've got to wait until it's properly under and then strike. Now, I'm getting plagued out by tiny wrasse. It must be like little ballons and little corcoranes, but there is the occasional good one in there. That's what we're after. This is tight drag fishing, because you've got to set that hook and you've got to get them away from the strags quickly. The trick is as well is don't leave a belly in your line, keep the line tight to the float, so when the float does go down you can strike into it. Don't busy talking at camera. Oh wow. This actually is a massive corkwing wrasse. That is a monstrous corkwing. You see this blue patch here? That means it's mature, that means it's breeding age. And this little dot on its tail, you might have noticed that quite a lot of smaller fish have a dot on their tail, and it's a defence mechanism. It's so that if a fish was going to attack it, it might think that that was its eye. So if a predator come and attacked its tail, like a bass or something, it's only going to damage its tail, so it's got a chance of getting away. Drop you in that pool there. Try that again. Strip me. Just left me with that. Just like little piranhas. A last worm. Split it in half to try and make it count. Must just be a pack of little tiny ones round here because I just cannot find the hook. Try a little bit further down. But the last little piece of worm, we'll see if we can turn it into a fish. You know how I said earlier that that bite that I was getting where it was like and just kind of bumping off, and I said I thought it was spider crabs. Well yeah, I was right. Just brought one of the last baits in and that was on it. So we've not had a great session, have we? Bootlace eels, wrecking the rigs, dogfish wrecking the rigs, spider crabs stealing the bait. Sometimes it's just stacked against you, isn't it? We're mouth on there. Incredible looking things, aren't they? They're almost prehistoric. If we hadn't mixed it up a little bit with that float and had them wrasse, it would have been a bit of a poor session. It's good to get back out. It's good to blow the cobwebs off. We'll scratched up a little bit of bait. I put one bait back out while I'm tidying everything else up. You never know. We get a chance to show you a fish. If not, have a nice day. We'll get this guy back in the water. Chuck him down there somewhere. Made it fish a little bit deeper. A little bit more risky because you're closer to the rocks. Well, Fishing it that little bit deeper seemed to work. Here's a really well camouflaged one. Only a little one though. Oh, just released himself. Still got a little bit of bait left. Oh, it's another monstrous great corkwing wrasse. They'll be always, aren't they? And I've still got that little bit of bait left. I think that's what was hammering me earlier on, taking the bait off, was them little corkwings. Oh, he's skinned most of my bait, that one. That was a big one then. You can tell because they don't mess around, they just have it. Last little scrapper right there. When I was packing up, I found a couple of little scabby ones that had fallen out of the packet. There is one down there, I know it's down there. It's turned into a lovely morning. Try and get one last fish out of it. Would you know it actually? Would you believe it? Would you absolutely believe it? The little scabbiest bit of bait. Scabbiest little tiny bit of ragworm, and it's caught the best fish of the session right at the last knockings. Good colours on it. I think that right there just goes to show you that one last cast. Number of times that I've done it though. Oh yeah, just one last cast, just one last cast. That's what your one last cast gets you. Oh, easy, easy. I'm chuffed with this one. Up you come. Pack up a happy man now. I almost didn't even bother casting it back out because that was literally how much bait was left. Easy. Walk this one down to water down there.